Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from Politico. Now this was published on October 18th and it's written by Rachel Bade. And the reason why I'm getting into this article is because you gotta love how the legacy media and the left in general, because well, legacy media is left for the most part, but you gotta love how the left and the Democrats, they're actually freaking out. And this article goes to show how badly they're freaking out. Because now they're trying to play it down with the fact of seeing what's going on, that the Republicans have more than a good chance of keeping control of the House and the Senate. They don't want to admit it. Like, well, admit it. But they'll kind of admit it. I mean, just look at the title here. How House Republicans could barely hang on to the House. Unlikely? Definitely. Impossible? No. See, these are the same fuckwit people that said that Hillary Clinton had a 94% chance of winning. Now they're starting to go, oh, well, they could win? If these same people are saying, well, the Republicans could retain control of the House, odds are they're probably going to retain control of the House. That's really that simple. Because as we get into the article here, you're going to see what I'm talking about. I mean, it's funny. They give away, well, Rachel gives away way too much on this one with some of the things she talks about on how they actually know they're fucked. Just about every poll predicts it won't happen. Suburban voters are too fed up with Donald Trump and Democrats too awash in cash for Nancy Pelosi's party not to seize the House on November 6th. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because here's the thing. They are confusing these urban centers with suburbia. Suburbia is middle class. Middle class is doing pretty fucking good right now. Because of Donald Trump and the tax cuts and everything else. That helps the Republicans. They're not fed up with Donald Trump. They love him. Okay, it's your friggin' elitists that live in like LA, you know, La La Land, and friggin' New York City and Boston and Chicago that fucking can't stand him. That's urban, not suburban. So I hate to break it to you, but Nancy Pelosi is not going to seize the House on November 6th. You don't even understand the concept that Trump's base is literally suburbia. Is the middle class. You fucking idiots. This is why you lost in 2016. This is exactly why. You start out in this article talking about suburban parts of the country without even realize you mean urban. Because unless you're saying that, you know, all of Trump's base is from like, you know, real rural areas and they're toothless and shit like that, is that what you're trying to get at? Because it's not what is actually the case. And yet House Republicans and privately, even a few Democrats, say the GOP could still hang on if only by a few seats. Oh no, they're gonna do more than hang on by a few seats. They're gonna probably keep what they got. Maybe take a couple. I'm being optimistic there, mind you. But I have a feeling that they're gonna keep the seats, the number of seats that they have. It might one seat either way or whatever, but two seats either way, but they're basically going to be where they are if Democrats get anywhere. I don't think they're going to get anywhere though, so I actually see them picking up potentially more seats. And I mean that too. The confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court has given GOP voters a badly needed enthusiasm boost, they argue, and several races seen as unwinnable just weeks ago are suddenly back within reach for Republicans. See, another problem that they have here is they're looking at this as like, Republican voters, Democrat voters, and that left-right false paradigm, and they're leaving out the independents, and they're leaving out the people that don't normally vote, that they've just pissed off to the point that it was one of the major contributing factors of people who don't normally vote going out and fucking voting. In 2016, the same thing's going to happen here. All right. The whole thing with Brett Kavanaugh, the bullshit, the fucking shitbags of the left caused, all of that. That pissed off a lot of people in this country. It does not matter what part of the country, we're talking about. Because as a recent study has shown, only 8% of the country is like far left. Most of the country leans towards conservative anyways. So here you are trying to play this false left-right paradigm when most people are independent. And the actual people on the left is like 8%, if I remember. And most of the people are independent but lean towards the conservative with this study. You're ignoring that fact. And you keep riling up and pissing off the people that are in the middle that don't necessarily vote. They just want to live their lives, and if things are going good, they're happy. Well, you're making things not go good for them because they got to hear Trump derangement syndrome ringing fucking day in and day out. And the thing with Brett Kavanaugh, that piled onto it. That pissed off a lot of fucking people. All right, people who don't even vote because they're like, well, what the fuck? This guy didn't do a fucking thing. There's no evidence that he did a fucking thing, but we're supposed to believe this dumb fucking bitch. And we're supposed to condemn this man without due fucking process. Oh, no, that's bullshit. So they get to that and they're like, no. And you piss them off. And those people are going to remember in less than a month what the fuck you did. And you know this. So you're trying to play this like, oh, well, it gave the enthusiasm to the GOP voters. No, it pissed off enough fucking people that they're going to go out and vote when they don't normally vote just to say fuck you for the shit you did, you stupid Democrat fuckwits. But you're too stupid to realize this because you've always got to look at this shit from the false left-right paradigm. And you go, oh, well, the independent voters don't really make up that much in our minds. No, they actually make up the majority of fucking people. I mean, it's so funny. And they're like, well, they are, with this thing of the seen as unwinnable a few weeks ago, suddenly back within the reach for Republicans. I'm sorry, but this is coming from the same people, as I've already said that, Hillary Clinton, 96% chance of winning, or 94% chance of winning. I mean, and Trump beat her ass. Democrats, meanwhile, have retreated from several battlegrounds once considered prime targets. Yes, because they can't win them. They've also deserted a Democratic-controlled open seat Minnesota, creating a new rare pickup opportunity for Republicans in a cycle where they've consistently been on defense. If they're going to do well and they're going to win. If there's going to be a blue wave, they would not be doing these things. But yet, oh, the Republicans have a slight chance. This is a spin on the fact that the Democrats are scrambling because they know they're fucked. It really is that simple. This idiot's trying to put lipstick on a pig and sell it off as a beauty queen. It ain't going to work. The environment has significantly improved over the past few weeks, said Corey Bliss, an executive director of the GOP Super PAC Congressional Leadership Fund. For the first time in months, we have the wind at our backs instead of our faces. Now it is the incumbent upon Republicans to keep that up. Yeah, well, barring any major fuck-ups, they should keep the House and probably take a few seats in the process, at least from what I'm feeling on this. Now, this is just my gut. This isn't like heavy political analysis. This is going by observation. This is going by looking at how, like, Politico is framing this. This is going by looking at how other outlets are framing things. This is going by the fact of looking at how reaction to Kavanaugh was, with all the smearing and stuff like that. I'm going with my gut by seeing what and by looking at what I'm seeing and what all of it is telling me. They have a way better chance than what's being portrayed. Like, it's going to be another friggin' Democrat ring, because, I mean, when you already have them starting the narrative of election hacking, which I did an article, I put it up on the 18th, where they're already setting up the narrative. When I see stuff like that and an article like this, they're preparing for the worst, which is them losing even more fucking control. There's also the still fresh memory of election night 2 years ago. Even Trump, by some accounts, expected to lose, and all the political experts who predicted a Hillary Clinton romp were left red-faced. Oh, more than red-faced. They've been fucking spurging out for almost 2 years now. What does that tell you? Let's not forget the same geniuses that predicted a huge romp by that woman who lost in 2016 are the same people predicting a huge win by the Democrats this time. Well, no shit. That's exactly the fucking point. So Kelly Conway said on Fox last week. So we have to be a little bit cautious. Oh no, we're more than a little bit cautious. We can go fuck you. Nevertheless, it is indisputable Republicans are in a serious jam. No! Democrats are the ones in the serious jam. That's what's funny. The left and the Democrats, they fucking love to project. They always like to put their shit on the other person and then try to use that against them. And it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. I mean, they're the racists. When you call someone a racist term like people of fucking color or people of color, that's no different than saying colored people. And you've conned, you dumb shits. The Democrats conned you into thinking that's a nice way to say to call you something. Oh my God. So yeah. Supposedly, yeah. Nevertheless, it's indisputable Republicans are in a serious jam. Democrats have infinitely more paths to win the chamber than Republicans do of holding it. Really? Why the fuck are the Democrats pulling out of all these areas? Why are they pulling money? Explain that one. Because that literally counters what the fuck you're saying, and you even talk about that shit in this article. Even Republicans admit that Democrats have already closed about 15 races, well over halfway to the 23 seats they need to win the majority. That's speculation. The elections actually haven't fucking happened. We don't know if they have these 15 seats. That's an assumption. Like the assumption that Hillary Clinton was going to win, and they had already written... Oh, God, what was the fucking magazine? But they had already written the article and taken the presidential pictures. And they had everything already there, ready to go. Same type of shit here. Democrats are competing in more than 75 districts currently represented by Republicans, giving them ample room to secure the final dozen seats needed to take the majority. Not likely. Not fucking likely. See, this is what's funny. And this kind of gets left out. They lost control of both houses of Congress and the White House last election. It was more than just Trump that they got wrong last election. They thought that they were actually going to control shit. And it turned out they didn't. Because they thought they were going to get more than the presidency. And people seem to forget that. Because they also predicted that they were going to have control of fucking... at least one of the houses of Congress. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Was it the Senate or was it the was it House? I can't remember, but they were looking at the fact that they were gonna. I think it was the Senate, but they were looking at the fact of having control of one branch of Congress and the presidency, and that didn't fucking happen. So I highly doubt that they're going to secure those seats to take the majority. I don't see it happening. At the same time, Republicans say there's no question that their lot has improved in the past few weeks. Their internal polls show the president's approval rating have increased by an average of 5 points in a handful of swing districts, giving Republicans who are underwater a fighting chance. More than that, the Democrats are freaking out because they're not getting the Hispanic base that they thought they had. Hispanics are now more than before in support of Trump. You now have this surgence in black support for Trump. The Democrats, when they're putting out this propaganda bullshit, this crap, it's because they're fucking scared, because they know that they just lost with the blacks that are now liking Trump. A bunch off the plantation that ain't going to vote for him in a few weeks. They know that a bunch of Hispanics aren't going to be voting for them. They're freaking the fuck out right now. This article is proof of it. GOP fortunes have improved in a grab bag of districts from Trump's strongholds, where the Kavanaugh battle has energized conservatives, to racially diverse districts where incumbents with strong connections to voters appear to be starving off challengers. Ooh! Wow! That's some sleazy, backhanded way of calling Trump supporters fucking racists. Are you fucking kidding me? Holy fucking shit. You fucking sleazebag. You cock-gobbling sleazebag. Wow. That is just some fucked up shit. And the Kavanaugh battle, as you put it, it energized more than conservatives. And energize is a nice way of trying to slant the fact that pissed off would be more accurate. You see, you're pissed off more than conservatives, though, you stupid fucks. But you're still trying to play it like it's the conservatives. No, you pissed off people that, like I said, aren't normally political. You fucked with the wrong person. It's going to blow up in your fucking face. You overextended yourself. You didn't think this shit was going to come back on you like it did. And now you're all fucked. I love how you're trying to downplay this whole Kavanaugh thing. And try to throw in, well, Trump supporters are racist. Fucking assholes. After pulling money out of Republican Rep Rod Blum's Iowa district, figuring they had his seat won, Democrats recently started spending there again to blunt an unexpected surge by the incumbent. GOP internal polling has Blum up 4 points, and Republicans are pouring in a further $1 million to help Blum, who'd previously been viewed as a lost cause. Yeah, well, you never know. See, this is what's funny. You don't pull out money. Even if it's a quote-unquote sure thing, you don't pull out your fucking money. You still throw some money that way because you want to keep your lead. So you want to keep throwing ads out there. You know, you want to keep your shit going. So you still throw some money in that area. To completely pull out your money, that's when you go, I'm losing. It's going to be a loss, a total loss for me, and that's why you do it. You don't do it when you're winning. You still throw some money in. That doesn't make any sense to say, well, they stopped spending money because they thought they had it in the bag. They thought Hillary Clinton had the election in the fucking bag. And the bitch spent how much? I think it was like one of the most expensive campaigns on record ever in the United States. And she still fucking lost. Republicans are also feeling increasingly hopeful about holding on to retiring Rep. Atlanta Ros-Lehtman's open Florida seat, long considered a toss-up. Their internal polls show Republican Maria Elvira Salazar tied or slightly ahead of Democrat Donna Shalala, who served in Bill Clinton's cabinet. Well, that really don't help Shalala, I'm sure. See, this is the thing. As a Republican, Salazar, Maria Elvira Salazar, with a name like that, or Salazar, she's going to appeal to the Spanish voters. And the Spanish voters have abandoned the Democrats. They've got off the Democrat plantation. Well, okay, Cubans have been traditionally Republican. But Mexicans, Guatemalans, Dominicans, they tend to be Democrat. So, I think she's going to do really well there. It just makes sense. Because you've got a large Spanish base in Florida. You've got all the spurgery of the Democrats. I think that she's got more than a good chance of probably kicking Donna Shalala Land's ass. At the same time, Democrats have pulled money out of several districts that should be competitive, indicating that Republicans have solidified their leads in the closing days of the campaign. So wait a minute. In Iowa, the Democrats pulled out their money because they thought they had it in the bag. Then, a paragraph or two later, maybe 3, you're now saying, oh, they're pulling out money because they know that it's a lost fucking cause. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Thank you for proving my point. Thank you for proving that. In the past 2 days, Democrats have retreated from an open seat in Minnesota where Democratic Rep. Rick Nolan is retiring and GOP recruit Peter Strauber is ahead in internal GOP polling. Yeah, see? They pulled out their money in Iowa because supposedly they had it in the bag. But here, it's because they're going to get their asses handed to them. That makes no fucking sense. Democrats are also taking money from the race to unseat GOP Rep. Don Bacon of Nebraska. Fuck, I would vote for that guy just on the name Bacon. All right, that's when you go around doing campaign meet and greets that are bacon-based. You know, you... also piss off the truck drivers a piece with that, but that kind of be one of the points, couldn't it be? But I'd be, BLT, you'd have bacon wrap this, you'd have bacon everywhere. It'd be a bacon smorgasbord. But yeah, so Democrats, they're taking the money from the race to unseat GOP Rep. Don Bacon of Nebraska, who Republicans say has a healthy lead. Well, yeah. You're going to take your money out if you're losing on it. That came just days after, well, before I go on. Why? Because you don't throw good money after bad. Common sense. That came just days after Democrats pulled out of Hispanic-populated districts represented by Rep. David Valado in Central California and Rep. Will Hurd along the Texas border, and they've withdrawn $800,000 in planned ads from Rep. Vern Buchanan's Florida district, where the Democratic challenger David Shapiro trails the incumbent. Yeah, they're pulling out all this money. They're not throwing good money after bad, but yet they're going to freaking retake the House. In what fucking delusional fever brought on dream state is this going to happen? Because it's not going to happen in reality. They know they're fucked. And you're trying to just spin that shit. Democrats should have had these seats put away by now, and they don't. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy said in an interview, I feel like they've hit a ceiling and held there, and we're coming back. Oh, they've more than hit the ceiling. They plowed into it. There was a steel beam being hidden. They whacked straight into it and got knocked the fuck out and hit the floor. Now they're trying to get back up at this point. But they're not going to have their blue wave. It's just not going to happen. Of course, everything would have to break their way for Republicans to eke out a victory. What the fuck are you talking about? Right now, the chances of them not having a victory are higher than the chances of the Democrats actually having one. If that makes any fucking sense. Because they're not mutually exclusive proportions. For one, several party officials said it is critical that President Donald Trump not antagonize more suburban women in the run-up to the election with comments like horseface, like the horseface insult he hurled at Stormy Daniels this week. The party officials are fucking clueless. They're fucking neocons. They're rhinos. They fucking hate him anyways. They're never Trumpers. I love how you fucking halfwits at Politico can't distinguish the difference between urban and suburban. You do realize that the suburban women really, really like Trump. You don't see a lot of pink hat, pussy hat wearing bitches living in suburbia. You really don't. And they were pissed at what she was doing to the Trump, to the president. Jesus fucking Christ, pussy hat wearers aren't from suburbia. Suburbia is middle class. They support Trump. These officials, why don't you name them? Probably some fucking intern or some shit. Because the thing is, suburban women, suburbia, middle class, women from it, they think Stormy Daniels is a slut. They think she's a whore. A whore. That she fucks and sucks for money. Well, she does fucking suck for money. That means she's a whore. The women that you're talking about, they're the ones who are married and have families and don't like porn because they don't like the idea of their husband really watching it in most cases. They feel it's degrading towards women in most cases. Get your fucking concept of reality, like, based on reality. Because you're in fucking la-la land here, buddy boy. They also said they need to prolong the momentum of the Kavanaugh confirmation for a few more weeks, or better, to build upon it. Okay. The Democrats have already done that. They're the ones that are that are keeping this shit going. When they're talking about, when we retake the House, we're going to go and we're going to drag his ass through the fucking mud, and we're going to keep investigating until we get the result that we want. Okay, when they're pulling shit like that, they're prolonging it. And you know what they're doing? They're winning more people over to vote for the Republican candidates in their districts that they're hoping to take. Wow. Fucking morons write shit like they think they know what they're talking about. Well, actually, I think you know what you're talking about. I just think you're a fucking lying propaganda shitbag who's trying to push this false narrative. Because you don't seem that stupid reading this. The The party is laying the groundwork to try. Congressional Leadership Fund is planning to run a series of new Kavanaugh ads in swing districts. Trump and senior Republicans like McCarthy have also increased their focus on issues that excite the base, such as immigration and the border wall. The president is expected to start talking about work requirements for food stamp recipients, a popular idea with the right. Well, no, here's the thing. Immigration and the border wall, those are things that more than just his base are interested in. How the fuck do you think he won? Because it was more than his base that was interested in those things, you ignorant fuck. Wow. Then there's the fact of the whole work requirement for food stamps. That's more than just popular with the right. The only people who are against things like that are Democrats, like the party Democrats. And it's because they know that they can't have these fucking people working, employed, and keep them on the government tit. It doesn't work like that. And they need them on the government tit and voting Democrat. If they're not on the government tit, they become less likely to vote for Democrats to keep that shit coming to them. If they don't just get it freely handed to them, that's not going to favor the Democrats. Independent analysts have recently downgraded the number of seats Democrats are expected to flip. 2 weeks ago, Cook Political Reports' David Wasserman predicted Democrats could pick up 30 to 40 seats. Now he puts the range at 25 to 35. Wasserman estimated that Republicans have a 30% chance of keeping the majority. Yeah. Take those numbers with a grain of salt in regards to the Democrats, because it's not going to fucking happen. When they are downgrading their shit. See, this is what's funny. This is like the 2016 election. They're trying to will something to happen. They're realizing that they've already looked like complete fools one time. They're about to look like complete fools again. So now they're changing their tune to try to cover for that fact. Thing is, ain't gonna work. It's also so that when they lose, they can say, well, we still said they had a chance, so that they don't look like complete and total morons as well. Because if you say, oh, well, they're gonna win, and then they don't, you look like oh, wait a minute. No, you are the fucking idiots that did that in 2016. I was gonna say, you end up looking like the fucking idiots. But you are the fucking idiots. Which explains a lot. But while Wasserman noted that the new enthusiasm boost on the right, which is limiting Democrats' potential gains in Trump country, there's still a question about whether it's enough, he said. Republicans would have to win about 2/3 of these toss-up races to hold the House, he said. That's pretty hard to do. You mean hard like winning an election when you got a 6% chance of doing so? Because I don't think it would be that hard. Might be hard, but not quite that hard. I mean, you only need to have a 66% showing to do it. As opposed to a fucking 100%. Republicans argue that they've put some of those seats away already. They feel good about Texas, where Democrats were targeting reps Pete Sessions, John Culberson, and Hurd. They say California isn't lost, pointing to what they call the improved prospects of GOP candidate Young Kim and incumbent Rep. Steve Knight, both running in battleground districts. Democrats dispute their assessment of both Texas and California. Well, of course they do. And when you have an Asian, they can't pull the identity politics shit. So I think Young Kim, which I like that name, Young Kim. Yeah, I'm looking for Kim. Young Kim? No, old Kim. I mean, I don't know why, but I get a kick out of the name. I mean, I think he's going to do pretty well. He has a chance. So that's what, if they manage to do that in California, that's going to really spur out the Democrats, because that's their stronghold. At the same time, incumbents in traditional GOP strongholds have solidified their lead after scares from the left, Republicans say. They point to the internal Republican polling showing leads for Reps Andy Barr of Kentucky, Steve Chabot of Ohio, Mike Bost and Rodney Davis of Illinois, John Katko of New York, and Brian Mast of Florida. Democrats also disputed the leads cited in most of these GOP polls, saying their own numbers show the opposite. Well, of course they're going to say that. Their own numbers said that Hillary was going to win by 96%. Democrats, however, are making inroads in several districts, too, forcing Republicans to cut off some incumbents. Well, yeah, but I got a feeling that you got your Democrats cutting off way more than the Republicans are. Would you try to say that they cut off because, oh, they had it in the bag? Then you're saying, oh, well, they cut off funding because, oh, well, they got no chance of winning. So I don't know if we should really believe anything that comes out of your fucking mouth, so to speak, here. In addition to writing off Reps Kevin Yoder of Kansas, I'm assuming Kansas, stupid fucks, proofread your shit, Mike Kaufman of Colorado, and Keith Rufus of Pennsylvania, some Republicans now think Minnesota Reps Eric Paulson and Jason Lewis are finished. I love this. Some Republicans. Which Republicans? You're talking fake as fuck ones like Jeff Flake? Fake Republican Flake? Who are your Republicans believing this? This is all propaganda. See, this is trying to sway people because they know this will probably cause the left to feel reassured. This will cause the right to second-guess themselves. This will cause independents to second-guess themselves on the fact of, the Trump support is based largely being beyond the Republican Party. Most of the people who voted for him weren't necessarily Republicans. But you have a situation where you're literally trying to create perception. And it's easy to see through, too. Just because when you literally say some Republicans with these particular 3 representatives, yeah, perception. You're trying to shift it. You're trying to shape it and mold it. Republicans acknowledge that Pennsylvania is going to be a bloodbath, as one GOP campaign source called it, and Reps Mimi Walters of California and Peter Roscom of Illinois, who are both closely aligned with GOP leadership, are in trouble, they say. Yeah, they might be, but you never know. Might pull their asses out of the fire. I mean, after the Kavanaugh shit, you kind of caused a lot of people to wake the fuck up to the Democrats. And they're fucking sick of them. And they're sick of you. And they're sick of the deep state, legacy media, bullshit and lies. They're sick of it all. You've riled up the people who don't normally vote. And you're not taking them into account in your whole scheme here of who's going to win and all this other shit. Indeed, while Democrats' target list has contracted in some places in recent weeks, it has expanded in others. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee began airing its first TV ads against Reps Fred Upton of Michigan and Mast this week, while a pair of independent polls showed a close race brewing in retiring Rep. Dennis Ross' seat outside Tampa, which has been reliable Republican territory in years. Wow. It's funny. Looking at you, well, yeah, those places we thought we were going to win, we're not going to win, but, we might win over here. So we're shifting focus. You are literally trying to make it appear that a headless chicken body running around right now, which is the Democratic Party in a nutshell, is planned strategy, has intelligence behind it, has some form of sentient thought behind it. But that's not the case. Democrats also argue that the recent GOP enthusiasm boost has been overstated, pointing to Democratic candidates they say are outperforming GOP reps Mike Kelly in Pennsylvania and Jamie Herrera Butler in Washington State. Because we have these two right here. These two lone examples. The GOP enthusiasm is bullshit. Trust us, we're Democrats. Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. That should show you how desperate they are when they're literally cherry-picking two poster children. And they're still probably wrong on them. Given the way the district lines are drawn and the massive Republican outside money advantage, said DCCC spokesman Tyler Law, we intentionally built the largest battlefield in a decade to create multiple paths to the majority and spread Republicans thin, including in deep red districts. No, you fucking planned like sneaky fucking shit like voter and election fraud and all this other stuff to try to take over red districts. I would say that's more along the lines of what you're talking about. It's just my interpretation of what you said there, but I mean, look at this shit. You have a situation where they are so fucking desperate that they see the shit falling apart in front of them, and they still have to try to fucking spin it, and they still have to try to make it sound like they're going to friggin' have their blue wave happen, and that they're going to take control of the House, and that they're going to do this and that and the other thing. When you have Pelosi saying we're going to reopen up investigations, when you have fucking Schumer and fucking Feinstein and all of them fucking talking about dragging Kavanaugh across the coals a second fucking time, hoping it'll catch fire that time. That the new time that they're doing it, or the next time. You have a situation where that turns off even more people. Yeah. I hate to break it to you, but the only thing you got going on for you right now is seeing shit crumble. Democrats aren't going to take shit. That's my prediction. But anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.